my name's Christina and you're watching Proud Bookline. And today I'm doing my last wrap-up out of 2016. Yeah, I'm aware that it's currently 2017. It's actually February. And if you see this before March, I will be surprised. Because apparently my new motto for this channel, and probably overall, is better late than ever. So yeah, here's my wrap-up part 5, I think. I hope that you still enjoy, even though it's super duper late. I'm sorry. Okay, so I read The Call by Peter O. Gillen, and this is actually a dystopian book, or dystopian fantasy book, and the main character, Nessa, is actually disabled. This was my first time reading about a disabled main character, and I absolutely loved Nessa. She's so strong, and she's really, really inspiring and amazing. But this book takes place on Ireland, and in this world, Ireland is totally cut off society or the rest of the world. Like, it's Ireland, and then there's the rest. And Ireland has no connection whatsoever with the rest of the world. They are totally isolated, and yeah, things aren't that great because every child gets taken to the Greyland, and there they have to stay for 24 hours and, well, pretty much try to survive. And the probability of surviving is like 0.0.0.1 because the Fae folk or the fairies, they will kill you. Yeah, that's like their goal, to kill you. So the children are sent to these schools where we get to follow Nessa. She's at one of the schools, and well, they try to train you so that you have a higher probability of surviving. So yeah, this book, I guess, is about Nessa trying to survive, but it's a really diverse book. There's a relationship between two girls, which I absolutely loved. There's a boy that's a vegetarian, something we don't see a lot in literature either. And Nessa, she's disabled. So I just absolutely love the fact that it was so diverse. And it's also very creepy, it's gruesome, it's raw, it's kind of disgusting sometimes, but it just feels very genuine in a whole new way, and I really, really loved it. It was really, really cool. I gave it 3.5 or 4 stars out of 5. I had some issues with it, but overall I really, really enjoyed it, and it would be a perfect read for Halloween. I don't know where I'm getting this up. Maybe it will be closer to October then, or if you want to prepare early, order this book. I don't know when the sequel comes out, but I know there's a sequel coming out, and I really, really want to read a sequel because, yeah, I need answers, Peter. I really need answers. Also, the fairies are based on Irish mythology or Irish folk tales or the Irish fairy tales, which is really, really cool. I love when authors base their novels on actual old tales like history, etc. Next up, I read the first Magnus Chase book, which is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Sword of Summer. And yeah, this was a really cool book. I loved it. Magnus is living on the street. His mother has passed away. He has a pretty, considering the circumstances, okay life, but suddenly his uncle Randolph wants to help him. But like, why? And then he dies. Obviously, the book doesn't end after he dies, but you know, he dies. I don't want to tell you anymore because it's a really interesting book and I think you should go in knowing as little as possible. But I can just tell you that it's amazing. It's about the Norse mythology, and since I had to study it in school, I live in Sweden, it's one of our subjects when we are younger to study the Norse mythology because, well, it's our mythology, so to speak. I already know a lot about Norse mythology, but Rick Riordan tells mythology and incorporates the mythology so amazingly into the plot, and the characters are really, really amazing, and they're actually very diverse. And the squad in this series, they are like squad goals. Like, it's one of the best squads that I've read about so far. I just love them. They really, really play off each other in a perfect way. But yeah, I gave it 4 or 5 stars and I really enjoyed it. Next up, I read the sequel, which is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Hammer of Thor. I don't really want to tell you a lot about the plot because, well, it's a sequel. But if you haven't guessed, it's about the Hammer of Thor, and we get to see the squad again, and the squad actually gets a new member, and this member is actually gender fluid, so holla diversity! I absolutely love the fact that Rick Riordan has a lot of characters and a lot of diverse characters, and he puts them in the stories effortlessly. He doesn't make their differences a big deal. Like, he just writes characters and they are amazing, and they are not the different things. Like, they are amazing characters with amazing dialogue and with amazing dreams and hopes, and like, they are characters. They are not just gay or gender fluid or this or that. They are actual characters. I absolutely love this book. I have not read H.O.O. yet, Heroes of Olympus. I really think I need to do that before reading the last book of this trilogy. But I really need this last book of the trilogy, like, now. But I'm not ready to separate with the squad. I don't know. I really liked it. I gave it 4 or 5 stars. Next up, I read a book that I don't physically own. That was Big Mouth and Ugly Girl by Joyce Carol Oates. And this book is about Ursula. I don't want to say chubby girl, but she doesn't really fit into, well, this weird form and shape and ideal that people seem to have in her school and in her family. And yeah, she struggles a lot with that in some ways, but she's kind of coming to terms with who she is, and she's doing the things that she believes in and what she thinks is right, which turns out to be quite important for this story, because then there's Big Mouth, Matt, who speaks before he thinks, and when he tells a joke, this joke ends up getting way out of hand, and the consequences aren't what he could ever imagine. Thanks for the fact that Ursula stands up for what she believes in. She actually supports Matt, and she does the right thing, so to say, and Matt and her, well, they begin kind of a friendship, which would have seemed unlikely if it weren't for the fact that Matt ended up in this situation. There's mental illness featured in this book, which I really, really enjoyed. And the book is just about doing the right thing and about learning and coming to terms that you do not have to be a certain way and you do not have to adapt after society. And you shouldn't do what society thinks is right. You should do what you think is right. And you are you no matter what. And who you are is something that you decide, not anybody else. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, and it was probably one of the best books that I have been forced to read because of school. Next up, I read Life Without Ed by Jenny Schaefer, and this book is considered a self-help book, and it's about Jenny, and she tells us stories about her relationship with Ed, and Ed is her eating disorder. So she has named her eating disorder Ed, and she has externalized her eating disorder, and she just tells us readers how she broke up with Ed, and also tells us stories from her abusive relationship with Ed. It's just really an amazing book and gives you a lot of motivation and inspiration and hope. It's how Jenny declared her independence from Ed. It's a perfect book for anybody who's suffering from an eating disorder or knows somebody who is suffering from an eating disorder, or just want to know more about how it is living with an eating disorder, which I think this book portrays perfectly. So yeah, I know that this book will and has already changed lives, so it's a really good book and I would totally recommend it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And no matter if you're suffering or if you're not suffering or if you know somebody suffering, I really think you should read this book. It's a really short book. The chapters are super duper short and you will gain a totally new perspective and you will definitely be moved by it, I think, even if you do not suffer from an eating disorder. And it's just a really amazing book for anybody, and I think everybody should read it. Next up, I read another mental illness book, and this time it was Made Up by Francesca Sapia. This is a contemporary book, and it's about Alexandra Ridgemont, and she suffers from schizophrenia, and she actually suffers from visual hallucination. Like Alex, she sees things that aren't real, and her only friend that she believes to have had was this boy that she met at the supermarket like 10 years ago, but her mother and everybody around her has deemed this as an hallucination, that this boy does not exist. But then suddenly when she goes to class, there's this boy sitting in her class. Is he real? Is he not real? What really is real anyway? That is what Alex is trying to figure out in this book, and it's totally amazing. I absolutely loved it. The characters are really good. I think or hope that it was a good portrayal of the illness. I personally do not know, but from what I've heard, it is a good representation, and I still really loved it. And this book just gave me a totally new perspective. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I would totally recommend it. This was actually the book that I chose, got, won, received. I don't really know the right term for it, but I was one of the 10 lucky winners of Emma from Emma Books Mental Illness Awareness giveaway. And the winners got to choose whatever book they wanted featuring mental illness, and I chose Made You Up by Francesca Sapia, and let me just tell you that I'm really happy that I did. After that, I read Gemini by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. This is the sequel to Illuminate. It's an epic sci-fi space adventure. I don't really want to tell you more about the plot because, well, it relates to Illuminate, so read that before reading this one, but it's told in the same way with the DMs and just the surveillance videos and just a really cool format, and I love the characters, and I just really like this series a lot, and I can't wait for the last part. Oh my god, the last part. Yeah, but I can't wait for that one, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and it was really amazing. Then I read The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I don't know. This is a contemporary, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And like, this is a romance novel, so to say, and I usually hate or dislike romance novels, especially books featuring insta-love. And I mean, this book takes place during a day, so it contains insta-love, but it's so much more than just a love story. It's really diverse. The main character is Jamaican, and she's actually facing deportation, and she is going back to Jamaica this very day when she meets this boy named Daniel. He's Asian, and he's actually supposed to go to his college interview and become a doctor, although that's what his parents want, not what Daniel wants. The two of them meet, the two of them fall in love, and the two of them just spend the day together, and a lot of things happen. And we also get to follow other characters, like the bi characters, and I absolutely love their chapters. Like Irene was my favorite to read from, and I just loved the role that she played in this book. And it was just really amazing. Like, I flew through the book. The chapters are so short, and I really fell in love with Nicola Yoon's writing. Like, wow. The last book that I read out of 2016 is a book that I don't physically own, and that was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which is a classic. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you don't know, it's about this scientist that creates this monster, and the whole thing goes kind of in a way that he did not imagine. It has a lot of consequences, creating a monster. Who would have thought? It was a really cool book. I love the historic point of view. I really think that I've gained a new perspective after reading this book. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was told in a totally unique way. Like, we get to hear from Frankenstein's point of view, the scientist, the monster's point of view, and the person that meets the scientist's point of view, which was really cool, and I did not expect it. And if you haven't read it yet, I would totally recommend doing that. You will gain a new perspective. And those were all the books that I read in 2016. Or at least since last time I had a wrap-up out of 2016. You know what I'm talking about. If you read any of these books, please tell me down below what you thought about them. I would love to discuss them with you. And please tell me if you're interested to read any of the books that I talked about too. I would love to know. I really hope that you read some amazing books in 2016 and that you are currently reading amazing books in 2017. I really love you guys, and you deserve to read the most amazing books ever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Your support really means the world to me. Have a great day / night / whatever part is for you guys. Bye! It's totally cut up. It's totally cut off. Big mouth. And she's supposed to be deported.